So we're talking about free response question from the mock exam you picked up in class today. Number one, this is a question to me that you can get 8 out of 9 points pretty easily here. So if you're not getting to that point, we're going to get better at it. I would guess that the average is probably like a 3.5 here. Let's see if we can at least score a little bit of that. It says a company produces and sells chili powder. The company's weekly profit on the sale of X kilograms of chili powder. So this is kind of weird, but notice here that X isn't time. Normally when we do this, X is time or T is time. X is kilograms of chili powder. P, and it's modeled by this equation, okay? That equation is weekly profit. That is money. And we're going on the interval from 0 to 80. Everybody kind of understand basics. We label stuff. We go through, make sure we understand what it is. It is not a rate. That is a value. It tells us a value. Find the rate in dollars per kilogram at which the company's weekly profit is changing when it sells 32 kilograms of chili powder. Is it increasing or decreasing? Give a reason. So what are we going to do to find a rate given an equation that gives us profit? We're going to find the derivative. That's all we need to do here. To find a rate, you take the derivative. And so in your calculator, all you need to do is find P prime at what number here? 32, because I want to know when there's 32 kilograms of chili powder, X is kilograms of chili powder. So all I need to do is find P prime at 32. So if I hit Y equals, I've already typed in that equation. And so all I'm going to do at this point is go Math 8. I'm taking the derivative of X of alpha F4. We're going Y1. We are doing it at 32. I type it in. I hit enter. Boom, 65.92 points, or 65.92. That is our unit, and the unit it's set up here was dollars per kilogram. That scored you a point, hitting Math 8 and typing that in. Questions on how I got the first part. It continues to say, is this company's weekly profit increasing or decreasing? What do I do to determine increasing or decreasing? It's slope. What is this a graph of? This is a graph of slope. And so thumbs up if I'm increasing, thumbs down if I'm decreasing. I'm increasing. How do you know that you are increasing? What is positive? The derivative. Increasing because P prime at 32 is greater than 0. That is it. The slope is positive, which is great. But what did we just found? We found P prime. It's positive. It's got positive slope. Questions on the first part? Just so you can see on the scoring rubric what they said. P prime is 32. Yep, 65.92. Increasing with reasoning. The company's profit is increasing because P prime at 32 is greater than 0. Done. Everybody good? 2 easy points. Everyone should get those 2. How many kilograms of chili powder must the company sell to maximize its weekly profit? Justify your answer. This is the place we screwed up on our final a little bit. All right? I am trying to justify a maximum. What type of maximum am I finding? It's an absolute maximum. Good answer there. This is a maximum profit. Okay? This is an absolute maximum. You're not trying to find all the spots that it could happen. You are trying to find when is it the best. Okay? So there are 2 justifications for this. If it says local maxes and mins, that's when we say something like F prime changes from positive to negative. But here, since we're going with a maximum value, an absolute maximum value, that's when we table this thing up. X and P of X, because I want to know profit. I want to know how many kilograms and what the profit is. When can absolute maximums happen? Endpoints, so 0 and 80. And where else? At critical points, okay? And you just said it out loud. It is when the derivative is 0. Write that on your paper. You score a point on this problem if you wrote P prime of 0, P prime of X is equal to 0, otherwise known as critical points. That is a critical point because it's when you don't have to write critical point, but you're trying to figure out when the derivative is 0. You got a point if you wrote P prime of X is equal to 0. All right, cool. I've got a graph of this right here. I've got a graph of this. I had to mess with my window quite a bit. Some of you were graphing the derivative. I just graphed the original. This is a graph of P. Okay, I changed my windows like 0 to 80, and I think I went from like negative 100 to 3,000. I just played around. There's no better way than just typing in the windows and playing around with it. When does this thing hit a maximum? This is a graph of P. When does P hit a maximum? Up here, right? Everybody agree with me up there? That's where it's at a max. So we are trying to find when this is a maximum. Right there is when it's a maximum. So all I need to go is second calculate the maximum. Some of you graphed the derivative, and that's fine. If you graphed the derivative, what would you look for at the derivative? The 0. Same thing. Okay, they gave me P, so it's never a better visual than to just look at it and find the maximum, since I'm trying to find the maximum. Boom, I get this answer right here, 58.358. That is my x value. My P of x, that's my value. Well, that's this guy, 289.2893. I'm going to not put the decimal because they don't really matter. How can I find the value at 0? Plug in 0. When I plug in 0, I get negative 270. And then at 80, I could go second, calculate the value at 80. In other words, it's just going to plug it in. Right there, it's 1873. How many kilograms must the company sell to maximize its profit? Which one's the biggest? The one that was the highest on the graph. It was obviously that. That is not the answer to this question. What was the answer to this question? 58, the amount of kilograms of chili powder. 58.358 kilograms is the actual answer to this question. You got 3 points on this one. You got 1 point for setting P prime equal to 0. Okay, so setting P prime equal to 0 scored us a point. We scored 1 point for the answer of 58.358 kilograms. The other point was the justification, which is the chart. Everybody good with those 3? Okay, let's go to number 3. This one is one that, out of everything that we do, this one you could do well. Okay, you might not be perfect at every one, but this one you could get 7 to 8 points without a lot of process here. Reading through and understanding what you're finding is important. The company plans to have a one-day sale on chili powder. Management estimates that T hours after the company store opens. The company store? That seems really annoying. Chili powder will sell at a rate modeled by this function of S in kilograms per hour. Based on this model, estimate the amount of chili powder in kilograms that will be sold during the first 5 hours. So what did they give you? This is a rate. You want to know how many kilograms, not a rate. You want to know a number. What are you going to do with that rate to find the value? Integrate. We are integrating from when to when? 0 to 5. What function? S of t? dt. You integrate a rate to find the value. So in my calculator, all I need to do is I already typed it in. And so I'm going math 9 from 0 to 5. That function that we had right there. So I already have that typed in as y2. dx. Hit enter. Boom. That's my answer. 11.432 or 11.433. Done. Is that tough? 2 points. 1 point for the integral, 1 point for your value. Basically, you set it up right, you're scoring all those points. The last one is a little bit funky. Using the function s from part C, find the value of s prime at 3. So that part right there is super easy. How do I find s prime at 3? You got a calculator, use it. In my calculator, I'm going math 8. Math 8, dx, alpha y2 is typed in my calculator. I'm finding s prime at 3, so I type in 3. I hit enter, I get negative 0.582. That's a point. Everybody go with that point. The hardest point on this whole test is this next one, and this was a question on your mock exam as well. Okay, very similar. Interpret the meaning of this value. This value, I'm taking the derivative of s. So if you are taking a derivative, what does a derivative mean? It is a rate of what? It is a rate of change. Here is what you should write when you see this problem. It is not going to make sense in your brain. Okay, this is one of the things that I want to draw up for that backboard. So if you're looking to score a point, this is one way of doing it. The rate of change of blank. That is what a derivative is. Derivative is a rate of change of something. Okay? It's the rate of change of blank. Is changing. It could be increasing, it could be decreasing. I don't really care. If I say changing, that will be acceptable. By blank units at t equals blank. That is what we were trying to fill in. That is the Mad Lib that you fill in every time you try to explain what a derivative is. A derivative is a rate of change. Okay? It's a rate of change of something. It's changing by this amount at t equals blank. That's what we're trying to figure out. Okay? In fact, you don't even need it's the rate of, and you could go from there. You don't even need that first part. It's the rate of whatever. Okay? Well, what is it a rate of? It is the rate of S. So let's look up here. What did it say S is? S is the chili powder rate. Okay? It is the chili powder rate of chili powder sales. Everybody understand that? It is the rate of chili powder sales. So down here below, I'm going to write the rate of chili powder sales. Is that super annoying? Yeah, it is. Okay? It looks really weird to say the rate of the rate, but that's what it is. It is acceleration, if that makes you feel any better, but it's acceleration. It's the rate of chili powder sales. It is changing by negative 0.582. What are my units going to be? The units originally were kilograms per hour. If I took the derivative, what do I need to do? It is kilograms per hour squared at time t equals what? 3. Boom. That is my answer. That is a hard point to get. Okay? Instead of saying changing, you could say decreasing. But if you said decreasing, then you can't say negative. Okay? So I'm just going to say changing by a negative rate, and that's going to be perfectly good. Everybody understand what you did there? Count up your points. See how many you scored. Show me with your fingers how many points would you have scored on that thing. It looks like a lot of 5s. I would love you to be more at the 6, 7 range. Hopefully, if you got a 5 or a 4, you can look at it and be like, oh, I see where I could steal an extra point here or there pretty easily. Questions?